Today on The Real Fan Review, we go over the 23 MCU movies and give you our official ranking on all the MCU. Welcome to The Real Fan Review. What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts from The Real Fan Review. And today we give you the official Real Fan Review MCU rankings. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, man. It's crazy. I was actually looking over all of our episodes that we've done, and I'm like, we've talked about the MCU.
I could have swore we ranked them already, too. And then when you said it, I was like,
Maybe we must have had that conversation so many times off air that we just assumed it was on.
Right.
Yeah, and I figured we gotta do this on air. We gotta let people know the rankings of these movies. But before we get into all the rankings there, let me just introduce the fellas that are here tonight. We got my boy Sanj.
Good evening, everyone. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
We got the man in the chair, Al, here.
What's going on, everybody?
And we got my brother B today.
Hola, hola.
Yeah, man. So like I was saying, I was looking at the episodes, and I know we've done reviews, we've done recaps for the movies that are coming up, especially Endgame when it came out. So I was like, you know what? It's now that we have like basically a year, because the next movie doesn't come out till May, which we all assume is Black Widow. Mm-hmm. We'll probably find out some more this Saturday, actually. I think Comic-Con is Saturday.
That's the time.
We're supposed to get some kind of like wording on what's going to come out, or hopefully they'll give us something like what
their plan is for the next phase.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully some better Ray Bill.
Well, they did that last
Yes, some better Ray Bill. Everything I'm seeing like says that they're going to focus more on shorter story arcs as opposed to having that 11-year, 12-year long story arc.
Yeah,
that they built up to Endgame, but everything I'm seeing right now says shorter story arcs, and they're definitely going to separate the Earthbound heroes from the space faring heroes.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. So I mean, it should be interesting, and then hopefully in that they come up with something big to do.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next villain or the next major villain, like you said. I think I heard the same thing where they're going to have an Earth-based villain, and then they're going to have this space-based villain.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see sometime in the next week, if not this week. I know D23 is another one where they do the Marvel shows, so we'll definitely know something by the end of this summer, I think, for sure. But as to where Marvel's going with all this stuff, but.
Can you imagine if they did like a build up to Galactus or something like that?
Oh my God, yeah. That's what I was hoping to see in Endgame, but in time. I know they just got the rights to Fox, the Fox X-Men characters and the Fantastic Four characters, so hopefully we'll get some kind of like heads up on what's coming.
Did news come out about the actor who's gonna play Wolverine?
I don't think anything official yet. I
I
think they talked about actors like testing.
Yeah, I heard something like Keanu might be up for that role. I heard
there's a younger guy.
Edgerton.
How would we feel about Keanu as Wolverine?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I'm not sure.
We need guns. Wolverine, you have claws. Yeah, but we need guns.
Lots of guns.
I know kung fu. Oh, you should.
Yeah, man. So listen, we're gonna go
Keanu.
over. We do, we absolutely.
Yeah,
do.
whoever they pick for Wolverine, that's going to be like the last announcement because of how much attention
they better get
he's
it
gonna
right.
get. Yeah.
All I'm saying, they better get
It
it
seems
right.
like they've been testing younger actors, so it's looking like they're trying to pull off someone who can do it for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so, because look, man, after what Hugh Jackman did for the last 20 years, they're gonna need somebody to step up.
Was it that long that he's been playing?
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
Since 2000, X-Men. X-Men almost 2000.
It's just insane, man. But now getting back into this Marvel universe, we've just all experienced 23 movies of comic books of this Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I have to say they pulled it off, man.
At an average of about 2 movies a year.
Yeah.
And averaging about $1 billion per movie now. So it's kind of crazy.
And that's just in the U.S. probably, right?
No,
or worldwide.
Worldwide for
worldwide,
each one, yeah.
Okay.
But so what we're gonna do is, since there's 23 movies, I gave you guys like a copy of all the movies, all 23 in order.
I can just imagine like the conference room like 12 years ago at Marvel. I have a way to make $23 billion.
As he twists the whiskers on his mustache there. What's it called? So I got all 23 movies down from when they first came out down to Spider-Man Far From Home. And you guys had a chance to write down your favorites there down from 1 to 23. So to kind of get this all kicked off, man, Sanj, what's your...
No, Brandon needs to start this one.
Brandon needs to start this
Brandon
one
needs
off?
to- 'cause
All right.
you're definitely starting at 23, and Brandon needs to
Okay,
start.
so what we're going to do is
I'm not going to steal that thunder, bro.
We're gonna go from 23, 22, and 21, that bracket, because then after that we could do 5 at a time until we get to number 1. So Brandon, Sanjay wants you to start first because I think he wants to hear something from you.
Oh.
So
I
what do
need
you?
some- I need some hot takes.
What
So-
do you have on 23?
Funny enough, it just popped in my head. When Sanjay said, "I know a way to make $23 billion," and they're like, I said in my head, I was just like, "We're gonna do starting with Iron Man." And everyone's like, "Oh, different." And then all someone runs and goes, "Shit, they're releasing Batman the same year." Ah, shit. That was the whole thing that's panned into my whole head. Well, obviously, if I could have a 27, 28, 29, maybe even a 30 column.
Okay.
If I can include anything Marvel has ever done compared to this, I would put Iron Man 3 at number 50 of 23.
You really wait. So besides the failed attempt at subverting our expectations with the Mandarin, is there any other reason why you hate this movie this much?
Everything. Okay, let's be honest. Okay, you understand the whole movie was trying to say that the whole thing that Tony Stark said to Spider-Man in Homecoming, is just like, I'm still Tony Stark without the suit. I can still be Iron Man without the suit. Blah blah blah. That whole movie encompassed that thought, but it didn't work. It was just like he was arguing about a sandwich the whole time. It was just like trying to operate a suit without being in the suit and him failing. The suit getting hit by the bus and all that stuff. It was just like, to have that Iron Man movie, especially coming off of Iron Man 2, which wasn't as good. Even Iron Man 1 was good. It was a fun time, but it wasn't great,
Right.
So like Iron Man 3 needed to have this hype. And when you said the Mandarin, like, oh, this is that science verse,
With Ben Kingsley, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is my
to me,
science verse.
It was a
nature,
waste of Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
You have Ben Kingsley. He's such a great actor. You could have pulled off a very, very good villain with him being
But
very,
he
very
pulled off the Mandarin, like,
Yeah, but
at
for the
first.
20 minutes that he did it,
right.
like-
But then he's like
a buffoon after
yeah,
that.
exactly. No,
and then like the makeup afterwards, like no, don't worry, like there actually is a 10 ring still, and there is a Mandarin. It's like no, this was your chance to do it. Like this was it. You
Absolutely.
bombed it hard. So the whole movie, just the makeup of it, just didn't work.
I got you. So that's your 23.
That's my
Sanj,
50.
That's your 50. Okay. Sanj, for you, the same thing, or what's your last movie on your list of 23?
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Garbage.
Garbage.
I think number 23 for me is actually the Asian Spider-Man movies that they made. those were incredible. Where Spider-Man had a mecha, those were way better than Iron Man 3.
Wow. Now, Al, how about you, man? I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you, Al. My 23 movie is Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
That's the last one for me.
I have to break it up from being a tie. Like for me,
Yeah.
only because like for worst movie, given that kind of like the joke Sanjay made off air, all these movies are so close.
Really are.
Like it's not like other than Iron Man 3, I guess for you guys, they're all pretty close. It's hard.
you
saying,
can
okay,
leave
why
now.
separate? For me, the only Marvel movie that couldn't hold my
I know what
attention
you're
was
gonna say.
Thor Ragnarok.
Really?
Whoa.
For me,
Okay.
Hot take.
Yo, don't look at my list.
I had to stop and rewind it. I would get lost. Something would.
Right.
That's of all 23 movies, for whatever reason. It
Yeah.
had its funny moments. It had its good moments. It couldn't hold my attention.
Right.
Of all the Marvel movies.
You didn't
which,
like it.
to
I
me,
know him from work.
just for that reason, I have to say it was the worst one for me.
Wow, that's crazy. So you know what, Al? So since you went with Thor Ragnarok on that one, what's in your 22 rank right there?
Then Iron Man.
That was perfect. Podcast over. That was perfect. So Iron Man 3 just made it by one spot.
It squeaked in there.
Oh man, Iron Man 3 is at your 22. That's so hilarious, man. And then Sanjay, for you, man, what about you? What you have at 22 for yourself?
Incredible Hulk.
Really? Okay. What didn't you like about it?
The Hulk movies just don't work.
I got you.
They just don't work. Hulk is not that compelling of a character, and then the story, we know his origin story, and they just didn't do it well.
Right. You know what? I find like that one more forgettable than anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because I think about that story. Yeah. The actor, what was his name? That played Hulk.
Ed Norton.
Ed Norton.
Yeah.
He did a good job. He did.
Yeah, he
It's
just did bad story and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it had the Captain America.
The shield was in the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the end.
Yeah.
Also, the story was about the super serum and them using it on the guy. You know, it had some cool scenes, a little bit here and there, but nothing paid off. The leader didn't pay off that yet. Where's Abomination? You know, it's just crazy. But Brandon, what about you, man? What do you have there at 22 for yourself?
I have the Incredible Hulk.
Wow.
Me and Brandon are simpatico.
We were going across the table. I mean, for the same reason, like it wasn't a full story. It was
Right.
like you know the Hulk's gonna come out. You know he's gonna get mad. You know he's gonna smash. It's like, how do you make that into a well-rounded story that makes sense? It's like, oh, we're gonna make sure this story revolves around him trying to find a cure.
Gotcha.
It's like, but then it's like, oh, I dead end here. So then let me go here, dead end there. Let me go here, dead end there. And it's like, okay, well, let's realize that I'm not gonna find a cure. I was like, oh, okay. Like that was your entire movie, was you trying to find a
You're
cure?
like, I
and
could have
failing.
told you that before the movie.
It's like, I understand if that's a basis of a Hulk story, but like the carry on of the story of doing it
Right.
didn't work.
I gotta tell you, the one I have Incredible Hulk there at 22 for myself too. But the one thing that I always remember from this movie is that fight with Abomination at the end, and we finally got to see Hulk do the thunderclap.
Yeah.
Not the reggae dance move, but the
You mean the Hulk didn't stop over in Jamaica
because if
on
you
his
do
way back
if
to-
you do the
to New York?
thunderclap for Sean Paul, it's not really as impressive as the Hulk thunderclap. You know what I mean? So,
You know what's funny when and you know I'm West Indian and I go to dance halls. and
Yeah,
stuff. Like,
yeah.
When they first started doing that dance, I thought they were saying do the Thundercat.
Oh!
Yeah, I never do that. I was like, oh!
he's like, oh shit, the Eye of Thundera.
Was it a Sword of Omens? I got it. I got you.
Give me sight beyond sight.
Yeah, man. But other than that, Incredible Hulk 2, again, forgettable kind of movie. For number 21, I'll go off on that one first, man. I got Iron Man 2 there, which I was surprised that as good as a character as Iron Man is, I can't believe I have 2 Iron Man movies in the bottom.
He was the ensemble character.
Yeah,
It's just insane.
Tony Stark. No, he's a smart douchebag. No one wants to see a whole movie of Tony Stark being a douchebag,
Right.
which is what the Iron Man movies were. Tony Stark being a douchebag.
It's like
the
every
whole
movie was personal growth, but just to do the same thing the next movie.
Right. But don't you feel
Like,
like
didn't we go over this already last movie? Like, you know, like we got to do this again, Tony. Like,
I hear you about his character, but like, come on, man. In Endgame, when he did the snap to finish himself off to help everyone, right? You felt something because that character meant something to you.
That wasn't an Iron Man movie.
I hear you.
And all his best moments. Sorry, Al.
No,
all
go
his
ahead.
best moments as Iron Man, other than actually becoming Iron Man,
Right.
were in movies other than Iron Man movies.
I was about to say the same thing.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Avengers was
go ahead.
Iron
No,
Man's movie.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because he does come off on the Avengers movies there, man.
And what it was is that Captain America was just a more compelling standalone character
Right.
throughout the MCU.
Gotcha.
You know.
I hear you. I mean, I just found it shocking that Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 are my bottom 3 there. And so, Brandon, for you, what's at 21 for you?
Iron Man 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And Al, how about you?
Age of Ultron.
Whoa.
Now, I'm
okay.
not basing this on its impact to the MCU. 'Cause
No.
Age of Ultron was,
It's your own personal
Yeah,
ranking,
yeah.
like where you feel these movies belong.
yeah, only because as powerful as Ultron should have been,
Right.
they made him almost comical. Like, he came off comical to me.
Yeah.
Like, too much of the showing expressions, and I don't know. He came off too comical considering what he should have been.
Right. I guess
in
compared
terms
to
of power.
like the comic books and the cartoons, he comes off as this maniacal robot. In the MCU, he came off as Tony Stark's villain.
Yeah.
Like a villain that's exactly Tony Stark, but which was what they made him to be, right?
A
'Cause
mirror. He was a
was
mirror
supposed
for
to be
Tony
that.
Stark. Yeah.
Whereas, like in the comics, he's the Avengers villain. Like he's
the guy,
he's
yeah.
deadly. Like he killed the Avengers once, like
Oh,
a
wow.
one timeline kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So like I completely agree where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like I felt like he should have had more of an impact, if not maybe lasted longer.
Yeah.
But you can say, because he's the AI, he's uploaded himself into the internet. He could be there and maybe make an appearance later on down the line. But I feel like the trend of the MCU is to do the one and done. So I think it was a waste of a villain there.
Mm-hmm.
For someone who could be so super compelling.
I got you. And Sanj, for you for 21, what you got there for yourself?
Thor 2.
Thor 2. Okay.
The Thor movies in general, I just didn't find the story very good. It wasn't much to it.
Right.
They introduced this character. He comes out and he does this Thor thing, very much like Tony Stark, where he's impetuous, irresponsible, and he has to keep getting smacked down. Like Odin has to keep smacking him down. Like, no, you're irresponsible and you're childish. And
I feel like every movie has to grow mentally
right, exactly.
or grow some way.
It's one thing if you're growing upon the growth that you just did, but it feels like they have to come back and do the same thing again.
Right.
And as far as the character,
Yeah.
and then I felt like they could have done so much more with Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And them playing off each other, and they missed an opportunity with the Thor movies to get Loki a lot more involved, and give Loki his due, because there's real depth to Loki's story with everything, when him finding out that he's not an Asgardian,
Right, he's a frost
giant,
Mm-hmm.
and then the relationship with him and his mother versus him and Odin. There's
There's
so
a crazy dynamic there that they could have did more with.
Yeah, and there's this and all four of them, like,
It was always kind of glossed over.
right. You have all four of them. It's like they're like a square almost, and everybody's standing at a different corner of the square, and they're all like diametrically. I guess they're not diametrically if it's four of them opposed, but you get the idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they could have done so much with the interplay between those relationships, and they didn't.
I got you, man. And so we go up to now the next set of 5 movies. So our bottom 3 pretty much looks like it's Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 3, and Al has the Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Age of Ultron down there. So we'll see where we goes now from 16 to 20. So we'll go at the 20 spot there. Brandon, what you got there at your 20 spot for the ranking of MCU there?
20 spot, I have Thor.
Thor, the first one.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with that Thor, you like Thor 2 a little bit better than that Thor?
I did like Thor 2 better. I think based off of the first Thor, I like 2 better because the story just seemed better. I remember leaving the theater and saying, oh, that was a lot better. Because I think the Phase 1 movies as a whole, like, we weren't super impressed until Avengers came out.
Right, yeah. I kind of liked the first Avenger with Captain America, but
Yeah.
I loved Iron Man and the Captain America. I thought Thor and Iron Man 2 were a little bit weak, but then Captain America, and then we got Avengers, and everybody lost their mind with Avengers.
To Sanjay's point, like, it's a complete agreement. Like, I feel like the reason why we gravitated so much more to Captain America's character is because it was different. Because we had watched Thor and Iron Man almost be the same character, surrounded by personal growth, whereas Steve Rogers was the character who was just noble, and you just watched
from the offset.
Yeah, like he was just growing into an even better person, like
Right.
So that I think that was a more comparable story for most people to want to watch.
Which to me, that's kind of what made the payoff at the end of Endgame for him, for his character. That's so sweet.
Yeah, I agree.
Out of everything else that happened in Endgame and everything like that, and it was just like an anticlimax almost, and it was just calm, and he's just sitting there, an old guy, and when Falcon's just like, you want to tell me about her? He's like, no, I don't think I will. It's just like there's so much moments like that, and there's so much in that.
Yeah.
Right? It's simple, but there's so much there.
Right, because that's his boy. That's Falcon.
And then the look on his. You talk about actors and their performance and what makes a great movie.
Yeah.
And like just the look on his face, he delivered, bro. In that moment, he delivered.
Yeah.
Like almost like Edward James Olmos, stand and deliver. Like.
Oh man, Al, man, what you got there? Your number 20 spot, man. You gonna surprise us again, man? What you got there?
Guardians 2.
Wow.
Whoa, okay.
I thought I was gonna say
All right.
end game.
Nah, that's how you get tossed out. Give us back the shirt.
And next week on the podcast, we looked for a new co-host.
Al's going for hot takes on every one of these. He's like, number 1, Iron Man 3. Wait, so you said Volume 2?
Guardians 2, yeah.
All right. So what happened, man? What Guardians Volume 2, man, didn't impress you? Story about Dad?
I know what happened with me with that one. Why it was the build up in the beginning of the movie looked cool. It looked like they were gonna continue right from where one left off.
Right.
But then they lost me with the whole ego not being an actual planet. He's an actual individual entity, and he's trying to plant his seed all over the universe.
Well,
and
no, he is a planet, but him going off like as a person, that was just like.
That was a
Like,
part of the
That
planet,
was a
right?
part of the
That was
planet.
a
Like,
part
you know
of
how
it.
like a tree can grow up out of the planet? That was a part of himself that he sent out to do all that.
Yeah.
That was
I
one
don't know.
one personification of him then.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he was still
That's
the
what I'm saying.
planet.
It just lost me. Like,
I got you.
A little too existential.
No, just like I don't know. I guess I didn't. Just didn't grab me,
Got
got
so
you.
to speak.
I-
Like not
Yeah,
that
no,
they were
yeah.
too far, or whatever. It just didn't grab me. Kind of like it didn't grab me as much as Guardians 1 did. Like
Right, yeah. Guardians 1 was fantastic.
it set
yeah.
a mood. It held the mood throughout.
But
Guardians
even
2
with that
felt
scene
like they were
with
going
the
up and
funeral
down.
for Yondu,
And then
that didn't get you right there, bro.
Nah. And then
Ah.
the only thing I liked about Guardians 2 is that they stayed consistent with I Am Groot. That he was
Gotcha.
that little
Yeah.
sapling or whatever you want to call him, and he stood, like he was the most
mad deep on
only
trees.
yeah, he was the only consistent part of it. Like,
Right.
and just like and then that whole
He's like,
scene
"I am
with the
Root."
whole with they're trying to kill. It's like they tried too hard to be comical with the group.
They did. Yeah.
Like, it
I
was
felt the
like-
same way when I walked out the theater. It's
'Cause,
like they
you
tried
know,
too
they're
hard.
fighting that whole thing, and they're all shooting it, and then Dax kills it from the inside and all that.
Yeah. It was just too much.
Yeah, it was like, okay, you guys went over the top. I understand you guys are the comedy relief of all the Marvel characters, but
I hear you, man. Because you know what? I got to say, I had it pretty low also. But then I rewatched it when I did my Avengers Endgame like prep. I was looking at all these movies, watching them. And I don't know, I guess because where I am as a father now, I kind of liked it more. And I got like, kind of emotional with the Yondu and the ego aspect of being Peter's father and everything. It was just like, I was like, wow, okay. So I liked it a little bit more as I watched it the second time.
and I guess like the other ones that I put at 21 through 23, that one also, it's on Netflix. It's on my queue to watch.
Right.
Just like Thor Ragnarok is still on my queue on Netflix to watch.
Right.
I don't select it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll rewatch old episodes of like TV series. And
He's
before
watching Friends
before
rather
I'm
than
watching.
Thor, yeah.
Before I'm rewatching these, and that's why I'm like, all right, yeah, that's why.
I got you. And Sans, what you got there at 20 for yourself?
I'm with Brandon. Thor.
Thor. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. That's crazy, man. I had Thor 2 at my 20 spot. Then we go up to 19. Sans, what you got there at 19 for you?
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2. All right. So pretty much we pretty much got the same thing at the bottom of this MCU ranking there. B, for yourself at 19?
Which when when you consider what we're all putting at the bottom, they're like
Yeah.
the biggest parts of the Avenger,
Right?
like
Thor, Iron Man, Hulk.
They're like, they're great, sure, but we like the big stuff better.
What you got there at 19, Brandon?
I'm gonna toss Captain America: First Avenger there
Wow. Okay.
because as much as I really liked the movie, I just feel like it wasn't in comparison to the newer ones. Like,
Oh, no.
I feel like the weight of that movie was something I could see like, once and enjoy it, and like I don't have to see it again, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
But like I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the other movies better.
All right. And then Al, for yourself, what you got at 19?
19, Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2. There we go, Al. All right.
Joining us. All right.
And then there's no explanation needed, Al. We got you, Iron Man 2. Then.
But they say Black Panther. Like
So me and Al actually weren't too far off on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I got Guardians at 18 for me, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And Brandon for 18.
I have Doctor Strange.
Wow. Okay. Doctor Strange is down there.
It was a good movie. I just think, I mean, I don't think I'm used to wanting to see an origin story to Doctor Strange and it not going as far as I would want it to have gone.
Right.
You
It
know,
touched on some things.
It touched on
but-
some things, and I feel like it stayed too much into like I've been Doctor Strange for like a week now, like, and the movie's over, and it's like, oh, I kind of wanted like a little bit more fleshed out,
Yeah.
especially knowing he would come in to Infinity War, kind of a thing, like.
Dude, where he went from Doctor Strange to the shit that he was doing in Infinity War
Yeah,
was
like,
absolutely
I would have
nuts.
liked to see a little bit more, like, especially in
Right.
Dormammu. You know, like Dormammu was always kind of like this one. I don't know the number of where he started, but it was always like kind of like my first Satan-like character.
Right.
You know, before they had everybody else, Surtur and everything like that, and then going on whoever the other ones are. But like it was like my first Satan character, and it was like, oh wow, he's going against like, you know, underworld stuff and this and that. So like to him meeting Dormammu and just being him, you know, resetting time and not really any kind of impact of Dormammu at all, really. I was like, oh, that's a bit of a waste.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's more of a tease for later, but I
Yeah.
can hear what you're saying, because with Doctor Strange, you expect more of the psychological, the little, you know, multiverse stuff rather than
Yeah.
the normal things that we saw kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though it was like different, but I understand that. What about for you, Sanjay?
18, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Okay.
Good movie. But again, he's more comical. I'm not really a big fan of Hank Pym. Like his technology, but the character itself doesn't really do anything for me. And not that it was a bad movie. It's just this is where it started to get really hard, because I know what I absolutely like thought was the bottom of the barrel,
Right.
but now we're getting closer to the middle. and
Yeah, the
everything, and
quality
yeah,
stuff. where
exactly. And I'm
you're almost shocked that it's down there.
right, yeah, I am. But at the same time, like when I look at what I have above it, I'm like, I like those things better.
I got you.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I was there. Good movie, and I like that they bought in Paul Rudd and a different look, a different feel,
Definitely different.
more
feel,
comical. You know,
Yeah. I'm surprised it worked the way that it did.
Evangeline Lilly coming in as well. Those
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, man. How about you, Al? 18.
18, Thor 2.
Yeah. I wonder where Thor 1 is on your list, man. You know what? Let me ask you right now. What do you have at 17?
17, Incredible Hulk.
Oh, okay. All right. So Incredible Hulk there is at 17 for you, the ranking there.
Yeah.
And then Brandon, what you got at 17?
Thor 2.
Thor 2. Okay. So, you know, pretty much I'm seeing that we got pretty much the same things in the bottom there. So we all kind of have the same feeling. So it's not like we're like just mutually like off.
Right.
It's like kind of like, okay, I got you. We all kind of feel the same way about the stories and everything that they were given. Sanj, what you got there for 17?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, so yeah, Brandon, where you at with the Guardians of the Galaxy, man? I mean,
They're a little higher for me. I think for me it's a bit of a pop culture thing. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the Guardians movies. Like 2 wasn't great, but I think I was really in it for the comedy on those, just because I think it did something different than most of the movies. You know, they're all so serious, and to have a Guardians movie be a movie about the losers, really, like, you know, they're a set of
The
losers.
losers.
Like, they're really a set of losers in space. You know, every single one of them. So like the comedy around it kind of like I think really kind of boosted it for me.
all right, man. So where do you have Guardians right now? What number you have Guardian at?
I have Guardians 2 at 12,
At
and I have
12.
Guardians at 10.
Oh, let me put that down. Guardian.
But if you look, if I get to 11 and 13, there's like a theme there.
All right, we'll get to those there.
Yeah.
All right, because I'm just curious, because we all had Guardians of the Galaxy 2 pretty much down there pretty low, and then I was like, where are you at on it?
Yeah.
But you got it all the way up at number 12 for you there. All right, so we'll keep going from there.
That's definitely a departure.
Yeah, right. I was surprised, young head.
As I say, I think it's a pop culture thing, because like one of my best friends, like, I think he would put like Guardians 2 like almost at like 5.
Wow.
You know, because like
yeah, okay.
he's obsessed. Like he loves Guardians, you know.
Yeah.
And, like, he was so much so that like he got in college our band teacher to do it at a concert, for like a spring concert.
Oh, wow.
Like the score for it, you know. So like he loves Guardians.
There's so many better scores you could do. Like, really?
Good
like,
Italian.
has he seen The Last of the Mohicans? You know what I mean? You want to talk about good music from
You just reminded me of Peter Griffin, the last of the Mohicans.
It was good.
Oh goodness, man! All right, let's see what's going on. We're up to number 16 here. Al, what you got as your 16th ranked MCU movie?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, Al, we seen eye to eye on that one. I got Ant-Man and the Wasp at 16 also, man. It's so crazy, and it's funny because I did enjoy it though. I really did. I did like the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that I had it that low, but I guess compared to what's coming, it's just like
Yeah, that's basically what it was. Like to your guys' points from before, it's getting to the point where it's like it's even less than half a game between these movies.
It's
It's
like
like
subtle. It's nuanced.
it's gonna be like one specific thing that made me say this, and
right.
Yeah, once I got past Iron Man 3 and Incredible Hulk, I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh,
Because
God.
for me, regardless of what happens in the movie or the story or whatever, a movie can be safe for me with really good moments. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to put Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 higher because talking, thinking about it the way you're thinking about it as a dad, that theme in the movie and then that funeral for Yondu and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to put it higher, but with everything else on the list, just the story itself just didn't give it the boost give those moments the boost that it needed to like get up there.
Absolutely. But doesn't that say a lot about the MCU?
Yeah.
That the quality of that movie is still that low on our rankings
Right.
because the movies that come above it are that much better for us.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
insane, man.
Yeah.
It's quality stuff, man. And so speaking of that, Sans, what do you have there at 16?
I'm with you and Al. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, okay.
Brandon, round it up, bro.
Brandon,
God.
what do you have at 16?
I think that the thing ended for us. I don't know. I got Iron Man.
Oh,
What?
my
Yeah.
God. The one that started
Wow.
it off?
I thought it was a good movie. I just didn't think it was a great movie.
Oh, you're crazy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. You got to respect it. So, I'm curious, Brandon, because we all have Ant-Man and the Wasp pretty much at the same spot. Where do you have Ant-Man and the Wasp?
13.
13.
Okay, that's not too far of a
far.
no.
Like my 11 through 13 is like a straight comedy.
Oh, yeah?
Like
all
it's
right.
just straight comedy roles.
So I tell you what, we're going to go through 11 through
Yeah.
15 right now. So, I mean, you already got 2 in the box. So you got 12 and 13. You got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm curious, man. What you got at 15 for yourself, Brandon?
Age of Ultron.
Oh, Avengers Age of Ultron. I wonder where I have that. I have it a little higher. Avengers.
I just story wise, I think they were trying to lay down a lot of groundwork in that movie.
Almost like
that-
Thor, like Iron Man 2 kind of.
Yeah,
They
it
did
was.
too
They're
much.
trying to lay a lot of groundwork where you kind of didn't really know why the movie was moving certain ways, like why the story was going here, like how this geneticist character was involved. Like I was like, oh, okay, just for Vision kind of a thing. I was like, I think the story was just a little bit too over the place, and then that final act over in Sokovia, I think it was just very underwhelming.
I think they did do too much in that movie, man. Because
Yeah.
you got to figure you started to see the inkling of Civil War in that movie with Iron Man and Captain America talking while they were chopping wood.
I think that's why it's as high as it is, because that scene really started a lot for me. Like,
yeah.
I love that movie mostly for what it set up.
I got
And
you.
I guess that's why it's higher for me.
All right. And then what do you have at 14 for yourself there?
Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Captain Marvel got there. And then just to round off your 11 through 15, what you got at 11, Brandon?
11, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. All right. So you got your stuff there, man. Oh, all right. So I got this. Ant-Man is there. All right. So Sanj, man, I mean, Brandon's all done with his 11 through 15. So let's start with you from the bottom there, Sanj. What do you have there as your number 15 movie?
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, wow. Okay. Spider-Man Homecoming. You liked it, but it's not as one of your favorite stories in the
Right.
story.
Tom Holland didn't win me over as Spider-Man. A good movie.
Not
but
yet.
He didn't. I was about to say, in that movie, he didn't completely win me over as Spider-Man.
All right.
I felt like he wasn't standing on his own.
Mhm.
It was too much of a Tony Stark based story
Yeah.
for me. But again, good movie still, good action.
Mhm.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah. What's your 14 there?
Doctor Strange.
Okay.
They're at 14, and again, no particular reason. We're in the middle of the pack. And then right above that is Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron. And then at number 12, my favorite Thor movie, Ragnarok. Right there in the middle. So now for me, this is where we start getting into
Yeah,
you know
I'm curious. What's your 11?
Avengers.
The first one, the very
Yes,
first. Okay.
Avengers, the first one falls to number 11.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then Al, for you, man, what you got there at 15 for yourself?
The first Thor.
Okay. First Thor for you
Yeah.
there. All right. Let's see. We got Thor, and then what you got at your 14th
14.
spot?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Okay, I see that.
Ant-Man, and what you got at 13?
Guardians 1.
Guardians of One. You know, a lot of people have that movie a lot higher there.
Yeah.
Another thing, like, what didn't you like about Guardians for yourself there? Or
Just
did you did like it and it's just
No,
low?
yeah, I was just gonna say I did like it. It hooked me. It got me interested in who the Guardians were when before I'd never heard of them.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I had no idea who they were. Period. Like, let alone what their relevance was to the whole MCU. But it's just that the movies I put higher, I just like that much more. That's
Right. All right. And then for yourself, what do you got at 12?
all. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, okay. Spider-Man Homecoming is at 12 for Al.
Mhm.
And at number 11?
Doctor Strange.
Oh, so you got a little bit higher than most of us here.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, for myself, man, for 11 through 15, number 15, I got Ant-Man for myself. Then number 14, Thor Ragnarok. 13, Captain Marvel. 12, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I'm not as high as everybody else is, pretty much. You know, you see the rankings on YouTube for all these people. They have Guardians of the Galaxy in like top 5 or top 10 for sure. And I didn't definitely get that vibe there. And my number 11 is Avengers: Age of Ultron, because even though it's not one of the greatest stories there, I find myself rewatching that movie, and I always remember the commercial for Age of Ultron. I got no strings to hold
Yes.
me. I always remember that, and I just thought that was really cool. It always stuck with me, man. So that's why I got it there. So, you know, from our 11 to 23, we pretty much got all those movies down, and no real shockers on the bottom there. Even with you know, Al, you were saying some of these movies in the bottom for you. In the end, they're all below our top 10. And like Sanjay was saying, most of these movies are still good movies. Like, we would
yeah.
rewatch some of these.
And I can't say this enough, except Iron Man 3.
All right, so we're gonna get to the nitty gritty here. This is gonna go to our top 10 here. So
All
we'll take it a
right.
little bit slower on the top 10. I wanted to get the bottom stuff out of the way because I figured the top 10 are gonna be more important to us and more detailed movies that mean something. So Brandon, man, what do you have there at your number 10 spot?
Number 10, I've got Guardians, the first.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1. All right, Guardians.
It was something I just really wasn't expecting. You know, like, I think this was our first, like, real branch of comedy within the MCU. And I don't know, I just really picked up on it.
Yeah. For me, I got Captain America: The First Avenger. Even though I get what you guys are saying, for some reason I still like that story, man. Just seeing him do the army stuff where he was learning, where he jumped on top of the grenade, and, you know, just seeing the start of Captain America, for some reason I still enjoy watching that movie over and over again. Sanj, what you got there for your bottom 10?
Again, I'm with Brandon. Guardians.
Guardians, okay.
It was just a different look than at that time. That was the first real space-based movie as well. It was just a very different look for the Marvel movies, you know, at that point.
Right. I got you. And Al, for you, man, what made your 10 spot right there?
Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Oh,
Sacrilegious.
oh, you shot me.
Oh, man. So let's see. Now the number 9 spot. I got Spider-Man: Far From Home at number 9 for
You
me.
bugging.
Yeah, man. For me, I want to see it again. I think I need to see it again.
Is that, well, okay, if you were to see it again,
right?
would that impact your ranking?
It may or may not. Like listen, when I left the theater, I was a little confused. I was like, what the hell just happened? Because I feel like the movie just went by like this. And then I think a lot of the scenes, and again, the ending to me, not the post-credit scene and the mid-credit scene, but the ending, the last fight, the last battle with Mysterio, I was a little underwhelmed. but I think the overall story was great though. So that's why I have it at the number 10, at the number 9 spot, because I would watch it over again because I did like a lot of the stuff. But for some reason, yeah, man, I have it at the number 9 for me.
Yeah, true.
And how about for you? What do you have for 9?
I've got Thor Ragnarok.
You got Thor.
It was just,
Ooh.
it was the Thor I've been waiting to see. Like, I'm so happy they went in that direction, because the Thor movies were just bad. Like, they were just bad.
Bruce Banner hitting the deck.
Like that, I died in the theater.
Watch this.
Wait, didn't he say the line too? Like, yo, you want to see like who
See who I am?
Who I really am?
Sanj, for you, man, what you got at 9 for yourself?
Winter Soldier, Captain America.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys are killing me with the Captain America with the soldier down there,
I
man.
just died in your arms tonight.
Listen, Cap can't have all the top spots. You know what I mean? Like,
But can he?
he can. He could.
Just not on your list.
I mean, you know, you'll see.
All right, we'll get to it,
When
man.
you see, you know what? When you look at my list overall, like if you took any one movie off the list, right, and looked at where it was, you could be like, why? But then when you look at the list as a whole, you kind of get you see the theme.
The thing that's playing.
Yeah,
I got you.
of what I'm into and whatnot.
All
So.
right, and Al, for you, what do you have at your 9 spot there? What's the number 9 movie for Al?
Captain America first Avenger.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
You liked
okay.
it?
Damn.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
The first Avenger for Al there.
Now, Al, would you say you have Captain America so high on that list because you like Superman?
I guess so in a way, yeah. Because I think we've discussed it. I like black and white, so I don't like a lot of. That's why I like Iron Man, but like he's always.
He's in the gray area.
Yeah,
a lot.
he loves the gray area.
Yeah.
Like he made
Like
his
Cap is
living on
good.
the gray area.
Like just straight. There's no question.
Yeah.
Like Cap is good. He
Yeah.
makes good decisions.
Yeah.
He does good things.
so,
He's got America's ass.
But basically, yeah, that's why I have it.
Yeah.
Have him so high, and that's why even the Winter Soldier right back to back. So,
I got
and
you.
the only reason I put First Avenger first was higher, I should say, not first, but higher, was because of the fact that it was the origin story. So it helped you find out
Who he was and who he is, yeah.
why he was, what drove him, what motivated him, what was his inspiration. Yeah.
All right. So let's see here, man. At my number 8 spot, I got Iron Man, the first original Iron Man at number 8, man. I still can watch that movie again and again, and it's just a great movie. And to think that's the one that set it off, it's insane to me how they did Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 after doing that kind of an Iron Man to set it off.
You know what's crazy? Like anytime I hear that, I just think dun 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 dun. That's Black Sabbath, right?
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, man. It's funny because I thought it was Black Sabbath in the movie, but in the movie that when Peter Parker got it wrong, he was listening to
He said Led Zeppelin or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Iron Man for me at number 8. I'm curious because Sanjay just went crazy on this one right here. What do you have at number 8?
Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay. Captain Marvel. You enjoyed that one.
I did a lot. We got the introduction to the Skrulls and everything and that whole story, and they took it out into space, and she's a really, really overpowered superhero. You know what I mean? And just
OP status.
I just thought she rocked.
Yeah.
And then this great story, and I like her story. I like the movie.
Looking forward to a Captain Marvel too?
I want to see see
go.
more of Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel took the story to another level.
Gotcha.
And expanded the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that movie did. For me.
I agree.
All right. And Brandon, what you got there for your number 8 spot?
Number 8, I've got the Avengers.
Oh, which one?
Oh, wow.
The
Okay.
the numero uno, the circle, man. That circle in New York, like that set it off for me.
Doesn't
That's Circle
does
Pan.
Avengers have a name in other countries? Like, is it Avengers Assemble in other
I think it's
countries?
Avengers Assemble in other countries.
Right? Because for us, it's just plain Avengers.
Avengers, yeah.
Because I always wonder, I'm like, Avengers by itself. And I'm like, why do I think
See,
it's named
I
something else?
was fighting with Avengers to be like between 8 and 5. It was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everything in between. Like I was like, oh gosh.
See, I would have been pissed off if they called it Avengers Assemble here, and then they don't say that line in the movie.
In the movie,
I was
right?
pissed off.
Well, they always hinted at it, like
Yeah.
at the end of
I believe it's at the end of
Age of Ultron.
Ultron.
He goes
Age of Ultron.
Avengers, and
And then he goes,
it cuts off.
Al, what's at your number 8 spot there?
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel too.
Yeah.
So you also
Oh,
enjoyed
all
it.
right.
Yeah. It was a
Okay.
good. I liked a lot of the flashbacks. You know, to that she lands in a blockbuster,
Right.
and I liked the bringing in of the Skrulls, and the way it made you question everything else that happened in all the other movies. Because then you started everybody with these theories. Oh, who else is a Skrull?
Right.
Who's this? What could have happened? So it made you question every other movie you saw up until that point, in terms of, okay, now what can they do with the movies we thought we loved and the characters thought we admired? Are they really even human? Are they the people we thought they are, or is
Gotcha.
this some Skrull invasion? Because at this point, up until the end, we really weren't thinking they were good.
Yeah. I mean, and it was awesome to see them now show up in Far From Home.
Yeah.
Because now, again, it adds to that questioning that you're saying, like, wait a minute, how long have the Skrulls been around, or who else is a Skrull possibly?
Yeah.
And then in the movie, they kind of said something about there's a Super Skrull somewhere, or they mentioned something about a Super Skrull or some kind of other kind of, or was it a Super Kree or a Sleeper?
I think Sleeper Kree. That they
Sleeper
were
Kree.
Sleeper cells of the Kree. Yeah.
Oh, they dropped that little nugget right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Saj, what you got there at your number 7 spot?
Iron Man,
Oh,
the one that sparked it all off.
yeah, man, it's a good movie, man.
Yeah.
Could watch
10,
it all
yeah.
over again.
Top 10, number 7, right there, Iron Man.
All right, Brandon, you're 7.
At number 7, I've got Far From Home.
Far From Home. What'd you have? Oh, you know what? I haven't seen Homecoming on your list yet, Brandon. All right, I'm not going to ruin it. Let's see. Well, we'll see.
Millennials.
All right, and millennials. And
Mr. Stark.
at my number 7, I got Spider-Man: Homecoming. Man, I really enjoyed number 7. Not Spider number 7. I love Spider-Man: Homecoming. Man, the Vulture, to me, the way they pulled that off, just amazing, man. Just amazing. Al, what you got there on number 7?
Black Panther.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Black Panther. All right, and then to finish off this little rank here of 6 through 10, what you got there at 6, Al?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody had Iron Man pretty much in there, like that, pretty much 6 through 10, except for Brandon. Brandon had it at 16. Oh man, I have Avengers at my number 6 spot, man. I think it's just a classic, man. It just, again, these movies you can rewatch over again. It's like watching them for the first time. You still smile, you still laugh, you still like, wow, they pulled it off, Sans, what you got there at your number 6 spot?
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Okay, you really enjoyed that one.
I really enjoyed that movie. That is a true statement.
All right, and Brandon, what about you, man? What you got to your 6 spot?
I have Homecoming.
Right above it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's killing it for you in the MCU, huh?
I really enjoyed the take. I was skeptical.
He identifies with Spider-Man.
Millennial.
I just want to swing from buildings, man.
Oh man! So now we're gonna get into our top 5 of the
here we
MCU.
Here we go.
This is
Crunch
where
time.
the cream of the top lay, right here in the top 5 there. So what we'll do is, man, let's just do our 4 and 5 there. Okay. So Al, you go first, man. What is your 4 spot and what's your? Well, let's do 5 and then 4.
5 is Avengers.
The very first one, huh?
Very first. It was the first time that I can remember an ensemble of, let alone characters, but heroes were brought together in a single movie. And I remember going into it hoping they didn't disappoint, they didn't let me down, and they didn't.
So you didn't like Justice League?
I did, but not like this. I mean, as much as I like Superman and Batman, there's not even a candle.
Yeah, Avengers is great, man. For my, what's your 4?
And number 4 is Civil War.
Civil War, okay, Cap.
Yeah.
All right, Captain America. Civil War is for Al, and then let's see, for myself, man. At the 5 spot, I got Black Panther, man. I watched that movie the other night, actually, man. I just loved the movie, and it just flows. It doesn't stop. It just breathes and just
And the music.
music.
Oh yes.
And the music has a purpose
Yes.
in every scene that it comes
Yes.
on. Why is that hot song coming on? Because they're at the club. Why is this other song come on? Because it's on the radio. Why does the other song come on?
Because they're in
because,
Africa.
Because the claw. The soundtrack is awesome. The acting is awesome. The action is awesome.
Costumes in that too. Oh
Oh,
my god.
Everything.
Fire.
Black
Everything.
Panther had to have the best costumes
I agree.
overall
Yeah.
of any of
Completely
the
agree.
Marvel movies.
To get the tribes, to get all that stuff, to get as close to historical fact as possible with that, that's awesome.
Yeah, man, I loved it, and I'm from number 4 spot, and this took me like some time to come up with my 1 through 4 was really hard, and I hated even putting that 4. It was Avengers Endgame.
Oh,
Wow.
I have it
Wow.
at 4,
Okay.
and the only reason I put it at 4 is out of the top 5 movies, I figured which movie would I sit down and watch over and over, or what can I put on right now without hesitation if I had to choose between these 4. And it always came up like last between the 4 of these movies. So Avengers Endgame, as great as it is, I have it at number 4. Brandon, for you, man, what do you got at 5?
Black Panther,
Black Panther 2, okay. And then what you got at 4?
Civil War.
Oh, okay. Captain America Civil War for you. All right, so let's put that down. And then now, Sanj, man, for you, man, what you got at 5?
At 5, I have Captain America: The First Avenger.
Oh, you liked it that much?
I
Wow.
liked it that much. Yeah.
That's
I did.
amazing, man.
Um,
What about it that made you like it like that?
It was. I mean, yeah. It was. He gets the super soldier serum, so we're still dealing with science fiction
Yeah.
here. But the movie just felt more organic. Like it was a throwback
Right.
kind of movie. Not a lot of technology involved. Just Cap fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
You know, you see the backstory of him and Bucky. You know how Bucky was his protector,
Right.
and then he became, the Captain America. He became Captain America, and then it's just a really nice story.
Yeah.
You know, not too much else going on. No suits, mechanized suits or anything.
No,
anything
no.
like that. Just Captain America going at the Red Skull. Just a very old school type of superhero movie.
Yeah, and it was good, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man. What you got at your 4 spot?
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Black Panther needs no
No explanation, man. If you haven't seen it, you're bugging.
Yeah.
You're bugging. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert for all these movies. That's really late. Spoiler alert, big time, man. All right, man. So we're down to the top three, man. And this is gonna be crazy to see what everybody has there because there's certain movies I haven't heard Al say, Brandon say,
Who the hell is Brian?
Brandon say, and Sanj. So let's see, here we go, man. So at my number 3 spot, to me, I love Winter Soldier, man. That movie made Captain America freaking cool. That's the first time I ever seen the shield used like that. And just the type of story, it was like a spy story.
Yes.
It was like beyond a comic book movie.
It wasn't even a Marvel movie.
No,
It
dude.
was like kind of like a Mission Impossible type movie.
Even the Nick Fury chase scene
Yeah.
was incredible with the battering ram hitting the window
Yeah.
and counting down, and then the gun came. Oh, forget it, man. I could watch that movie over and over again. Al, what you got there for your number 3 spot?
For my number 3, my top 3, they take in order, and it's because of the culmination of what the prior 20 movies led up to.
Okay.
So my number 3 is Far From Home.
Far From Home. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You like
Because
it? That is up there.
It doesn't beat the
I
other
thought
two.
I had it up there.
It doesn't beat the other two, but it was a good way of literally ending and wrapping everything up.
Gotcha.
You know, it took everything that my top 2 built up and kind of like showed, okay, you've already dealt with that. Now this is the aftermath.
Gotcha.
And it didn't let us wait however long we're going to have to wait, a year and a half, to see how people were coping. We got to see that now, while letting the main character still have a good, strong story in his movie.
Right. Even he had to go through something and grow and everything.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Al, Brandon.
Endgame, number 3.
Endgame. All right. Avengers Endgame for Brandon.
Doesn't know my name anymore.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I keep looking at you and I'm trying to say the same thing
He's
while
like,
I'm
"Hey,
typing.
Hey, yo.
All right, Sanj, your number 3 movie of all MCU movies.
Captain America: Civil War.
Oh man, Captain
That
America.
that scene with Winter Soldier, Bucky, Captain America, and Iron Man when they beat the shit out of Iron Man.
I still can't get past the airport.
Yeah.
That airport.
The airport scene was great too, but just that last scene was like, he's my friend. I thought we were too.
Oh man.
And then when he's like, that's my dad's shield. That shield's not yours. It's my dad's.
Yeah,
And then when he
drop
drops
it.
the shield, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know, like damn.
Isn't it crazy? The end fight of that movie was them fighting each other.
Yeah.
That
Well, I
just
mean,
was
it's
so crazy.
Civil War, right?
Yeah.
The movie. That's not by accident that they made that the last fight scene. You know what I mean? Like it built up to that.
And it was built up perfectly,
Yeah.
man.
Because you think the airport scene was the big, scene.
Or he
And
had
it
a fight
was.
with the big bad, which was the guy that was pulling all the strings, and he
Right.
Not even. I thought they were gonna fight the super soldiers, the 6 super soldiers
yeah,
that were
yeah.
that were in
And they
cryogenic.
walk in there and they're dead.
They're
Yeah,
already
they
dead. I'm
weren't-
like, what the hell is
Yeah.
happening? I didn't know. I couldn't even fathom what was happening. And then all of a sudden, you see the tape come on. I'm like, he goes, "Hey, I know that street." I was like, "Oh shit."
You were sitting there like, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't watch, Tony. Don't watch. Don't watch, Tony. You know?
When in the
no,
theater- go for it.
My point, and I'm sure we were all saying it, was when he goes, "Did you know?"
Yeah.
Everybody was saying, "Say no, motherfucker, say no, say no." I don't care if you know, say
Just
no.
say no. Just say
Oh
no.
my god, yeah.
He goes, "Yeah."
Dude, in the theater, okay, that part was big, but when the whole theater realized that the video was Tony Stark's parents,
Yeah.
dude, the gasp. Oh.
Because remember, we've seen that before, just not the rest of it, and it was from another perspective. But then when you see it again, you're like, wait, I remember I've seen this. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It was done awesome, man. It really was. Let's go with Sanj, man. What's your number 2 movie of the MCU there?
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we have to explain that. The Infinity War. Right?
Isn't
Okay.
it crazy that we have Infinity War there? Because when people left that theater, everybody lost their mind, but they almost felt, some people were saying it was like an incomplete movie because they knew the second part was coming. But dude, that was an incredible movie.
Incredible movie.
Incredible movie. Brandon, what you got there at number 2?
Infinity War.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's keep this going. Al, what do you got?
Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Endgame.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna put Endgame up there, man. And Endgame was crazy. I can't wait for that to come out on Blu-ray.
Okay.
I got my eyes on that. For the first time ever, I think I'm gonna buy digital before I get the movie on Blu-ray. For me, number 2, Infinity War. Also, man, I got Infinity War up there. I could watch that movie over and over again, man.
Yeah.
I think I've literally seen that movie about maybe 11, 12 times.
Just for when Cap's in the shadows and just shows up like, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
And get
dun,
this man a
dun,
shield.
Oh man, no, my favorite still is just the when they realized that the ship came into New York, and Tony's like, "Are you doing that with your hair?" Not this time.
I think what was so cool is that Infinity War didn't even feel like an Avengers movie or anything. It just felt weird because especially like the beginning was cool because that still felt like Avengers, like when they, the Doctor Strange and Tony teaming up and fighting with Spider-Man. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, but then like to see like the Vision get like stabbed in the middle of Berlin, like that was like a really intense fight scene. I'm like, whoa, this is going places I didn't think we would ever go.
Yeah.
And then to be in Wakanda and have that overall scene, like
That
even
was
like
nuts.
when Cap was leading the pack and like the like alien dogs were like jumping on him, you're like, yo, Cap's getting it right now. Like holy man, like I didn't think he could like lose like that,
I found the movie to be fantastic for a movie where the Avengers didn't end up together.
Yeah.
You had everyone in separate places, and it
Right.
still worked. It was just amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. So, you know what, Sanj, we're going to let you set this off, man. What is the number 1 MCU movie for Sanjay?
It all starts with the end. Endgame.
You loved it that much?
Loved it that much.
You could watch that movie again, huh?
Every day.
Oh.
If I had 3 hours.
Anything about that movie disappointed you, or it's just everything hit all the right notes?
They did everything right. You know, they started off, it was very somber, and you know they hit you real quick, real hard with them going after Thanos, and then it was
Ruined his breakfast like
right, and then you saw all the characters go different places than you ever seen them. You saw Thor go off, you know, and deal with it all a certain way, and you know Black Widow kind of, you know, she jumped, you know, went headlong into work.
Right.
Captain America, Steve Rogers, he kind of like didn't have a purpose anymore. I mean, he tried
Gotcha.
to stay positive and doing, I guess, as much as you know, his Captain America thing, like he was talking to people, helping them out, like just by talking to them.
Right.
So he was still kind of doing that hero thing, and then you know Tony Stark went off and just kind of became a hermit, and then had made a family. Right? You never seen him calm down
Right.
like that. You know, so yeah, and then with everything how they figured out with time travel and then
Time heist.
yeah, the time heist, yeah, and having Ant-Man with them, it was just like a totally different dynamic, you know, him thrown in with them, and it was funny, it was incredible.
Brandon, I remember your name. After messing it up this whole podcast.
Hello.
What is Brandon's number one MCU movie that everyone needs to watch?
Winter Soldier.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
All right. Okay.
What about it? Winter Soldier makes it the number one movie for you, man?
It was a Captain America I wish I got in the first movie. You know, it was just I you know, leaving Captain America, the first Avenger, I was like, oh, well, it was fun. You know, it was a fun time. I really liked it. I was like, you know, and then I loved Captain America once Avengers came out. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is my team. But when Winter Soldier came out, I feel like it just changed what a movie could be for Marvel.
We left that movie theater, and you looked at me and you go, what did we just watch?
Like, like that, the espionage, like, and it's like, it like you said, like it felt like a Mission Impossible movie, but with Captain America having a shield, like, you know, it was just, and then they had the whole story unfolded, and with Robert Redford and with Bucky and like with everything, like just the whole way, and then leading into I forget the name of the computer guy.
Arnim Zola.
Zola, right?
Yeah.
Leading into the Zola at the Shield, like the first ever Shield base, and going through the history of what the Winter Soldier has done, and then learning there that he killed, you know, the Starks. You know, it was like just going through all of that stuff. It was like, yo, like we're getting so much, and then that movie to just keep going and just keep killing it from there. Him and Black Widow just trying to get away, like the whole thing was just awesome from start to finish.
Yeah, man.
I've watched that movie on repeat dozens and dozens of times, and it just doesn't get old.
It really doesn't, man. And that movie actually changed the way I thought comic book movies could be. Because remember, we just came off of Avengers, and this movie came up, I think, 2 movies after. Because it was Iron Man 3, then Civil War, then
Thor, right?
Then Thor 2, and then Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And when Winter Soldier came out, I was like, oh, I don't even know what they're coming with next. I think after that movie, it was like important to be opening night to see these movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was just like that was just way too good.
Just like the first opening sequence of him going down to the boat.
Oh my God.
Like,
hey, did he have a shoot? Nope.
like him taking out all the guards that way, like that's not Captain America. Like, you know, Captain America is like doesn't go on assault like that, you know.
Yeah.
So that movie just changed the way I could see a superhero movie, knowing that they could do superhero movies different ways. It wasn't just the generic. Here's a superhero. Here's a problem. He's gonna fix it.
Right.
Like it went away from that archetype. Like, all right, the superhero's the superhero. You see him doing, you know, swinging in or coming, saving the day, like on a local level.
Mm-hmm.
Then this big bad shows up and then knocks him out, and like he has to like regroup or whatever, and then he figures out how to beat the big bad. Then you get into there's a love interest, and then there's the big fight scene.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was like the archetype of superhero movies.
I mean, the archetype of every sequel for a superhero movie was always like, this was like their down on their luck movie. Like they're going to quit being a superhero, like Spider-Man 2. Like,
Right.
you know, they're down on their luck. Everything's failing. Everything's going wrong. And then they find a way to turn around and win the day. Like, no, this like, no, like your whole world is upside down, dude.
Yeah.
Like, Shield is Hydra. Like, like that's the worst down your luck you can get, homie. So that's it for me. It was just incredible.
All right, cool, man. Al, your number one MCU ranked movie is
Infinity War.
Yeah.
For me, even more so than Endgame, it led up to that because everybody had their time, everybody had their role. You understood why they were going to be that impactful in the movie with the world at risk.
Right.
Like, why are we relying on that team to go do that? Like you said, at one point, they're all in different places. They all have different jobs. They all have different things that are needed of them in order to help save the world. But we can still be confident that they're going to, even independently, be able to do it. Why? Because all of the prior movies built up to it.
Right.
So it was just, to me, it was a great seeing it lead up to that. And again, not disappoint, go with it. And then when you thought you knew what was going to happen and you said, okay, there's a pause, he's going to get away or whatever, he actually snaps his fingers and you're like, I think
happens. It happens. You're
when
like,
it
holy
happened,
shit.
we just started seeing them disappear. We were, what?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, wait, what's...
You start looking at your phone, looking
Yeah,
what
they're
time
like,
it is. Like, this movie's
they're
been running
dying.
for how
They're all
many?
dying. Where they going? Like, it was just...
And to leave you like that for a year.
Yeah. And then they just said, what is it? Yeah, told you, like, when the next one was coming out. I'm like, I got to wait a year to see what happens after that?
Yeah.
Like, it was the first time, like, you want to see the next movie now. Like,
yeah.
why couldn't they have done a Matrix and filmed the two movies back to back
Right.
and tell me the next one's coming out next month?
Right.
Like,
No, man, absolutely. That's awesome, man. I feel the same way. I mean, listen, the movies you guys are saying, Sign says Endgame. Brandon says Winter Soldier. Al says Infinity War. I had a battle with all those movies right there, man.
Javi said Civil War. I know it.
Dude, I love me some Civil War. Yeah. Oh, man. I could watch that movie every day.
How about when the Winter Soldier caught the shield?
That was awesome. Yeah.
That was crazy.
That is crazy.
Because I remember we watched it. We were like,
But he caught the shield in the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I keep getting those mixed up.
No, it's okay,
That's why
man.
it's the greatest movie.
That's Brandon's movie right there. And Brandon loves that movie. But for me, Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
I love Civil War, man. I mean, because it's just, they made everything make sense. There's a part of you that understands why Iron Man feels the way he feels. There's a part of you that understands where Captain America's coming from. The airport scene. The fact, man, it was Avengers. It was the Avengers movie.
If Civil War was what they were building up to, it could have still worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely amazing. And to see the fracture and kind of wonder, like, dude, you knew that Infinity War was coming. I'm like, hey, man, how are you going to get together before Thanos comes?
There's a bigger threat coming, and y'all want to sit over here.
Yeah, man. So, listen, for me, Captain America Civil War is my number one movie, man. I love that movie so much.
I still think the two biggest payoffs in the MCU we got in Endgame.
Right.
Captain America wielding the hammer
Uh-huh.
and Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those,
I got to say, the Avengers Assemble let me down a little bit.
'Cause he
Not
didn't yell
much,
it?
because he didn't yell it. He was like, Avengers Assemble. I wanted a little bit more.
They're like,
I
what did he say? I think we're just going to go.
We go? All right, let's go. Like the spaceship up there was like, is it go time?
was that the signal?
Just fire. Just shoot, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man. All right, man. So, fellas, man, I thank you for going down this MCU ranking road here to go through 1 through 23. It's amazing to hear what you guys think, because it kind of shows us what we all think about these different movies, how they made us feel, what we liked about the MCU.
I thought it was great to see the intersections of our lists.
That's
like,
awesome too, right?
A lot of the places where we all like, oh yeah, agreed on this, but then a couple of spots where we've diverged like a lot, but then they still comes back and intersects.
Yeah. And even though we have some movies a little bit far apart from each other, for the most part, they're all kind of like in the same area. And to be honest with you, like we were saying in the beginning of this podcast, man, from pretty much like 4 down to like 17, 18, it's almost
It's
like
hard.
there's like little things that make us not like it more than that
That
movie.
one, yeah.
You know, it's not like the movie was trash. The movies are great. Even for me, like I think except for Iron Man 3 and Incredible Hulk, I probably
that one.
I probably would watch all of those all over again anyway. But we're going to go ahead and just end the podcast right here with that ranking system. And what we're going to do also, I'm going to try to get an average of all the 23 movies from our rankings and make one official Real Fan Review ranking. And we'll put that on the YouTube there. And we'll make a video out of that just to show our official Real Fan Review ranking. This is our first ranking that we've done. So with that said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. We could always find us here on therealfanreview.com. You can email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com. You got us at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. Just look for us, search for us. We'll be there. Sanj, any last words or anything for
No, Mo, your shirt will be in the mail. We are ordering it. We're all back in town and everything's settling down. So yeah, you will get your shirt. The offer still stands. I'm waiting for the next two.
All right.
Next two folks to email us so that we can send out shirts to you guys. You know, so looking forward to hearing from everyone.
All right, man. Al, any last words for anybody?
Yeah, save your money for that 23 disc box set for the, for the whole MCU movies.
All right, Brandon.
Love Winter Soldier.
All right, guys. So from Sanj, Al, B, and myself, Hav, we're the Real Fan Review. We thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Have a good night.